What's up, light bearers? Welcome to Light Tap. My name is Melissa.
And I'm Emily.
And today's topic is called
I Do.
I Don't.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Would you like that song on your wedding day?
I think
or
I would.
do you want to
would
do a different song?
I would remix it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I already know.
All right. Well,
Have you seen? There's this one dude on Instagram that he remixes a lot of like crazy songs together to say like he'll put on the little video. He'll put imagine. Let's just put a like
whatever
a
song.
prefix, right? Let's imagine a mashup of Yu-Gi-Oh and So Will I. Or like Eternal Love and like another random song like Star Wars, and he would turn it into a wedding entrance music. It's so beautiful.
You need to show me this.
Dude,
I would like to hear that.
I found it through a friend and he sent it to me, and I was like, oh my god, you should play this at my wedding. And he said, yes, I will. And I was like, you better start practicing now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have an idea of the songs that I want. I have an idea for everything, but for this, because I don't know if it's gonna happen or not at this point.
Shut up.
But I do know what I want for that day.
Yeah.
And that would be like a very with like probably like, I don't know. I got a couple songs. I don't know, but it would be a remix. I already know.
Nice, nice. Okay. So today's episode we're talking about marriage. I'm married.
I'm not.
So we'll talk about a little bit of like our experience
with and without marriage.
11 years, 12 years deep, and then 0 years.
7 years dating. Probably a little more.
Whatever, but like our perspective and like, I mean, obviously, that's a goal for you, to eventually get married. And so what that looks like,
I'm going to give my word from looking from the inside. No, the outside in, and you're going to give the perspective from the inside out.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good podcast.
It's going to be a fun podcast.
Before we start with our Bible verses for today, this is just a disclaimer that this is just a light tap into this subject. If you want to dig in deeper with the word and know a little bit more context and what did this mean back then, or what does the original word say, or what is the original translation, whatever the case may be, this is your opportunity to open up your Bibles, to go ahead and use all the resources to study it for yourself. Don't take what we're saying as facts, because we're having a conversation. They might be facts. But
sometimes it's just
maybe we took it out of context or whatever. Maybe we're using it for the subject that we're talking about. But so don't take it as that. Don't take this as a Bible study, because it ain't. Okay, this is just a light tap into the subject. So, open up your Bibles. Pray to the Holy Spirit. Get that you there, because you need it. Today's Bible verse, Emily will read it in English and then I'll read it in Spanish. It's a long one.
It is. Today we're going to have a long one.
Yeah, you probably haven't read the Bible the whole week anyways. So
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Alrighty. We're going to be reading from Ephesians 5:22 all the way down to 30.
Long.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not even like a full like 8 verses. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. All right. So we're starting at 22. It says, "Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church, for we are members of his body.
Ok. En español, Efesios 5, del 22 al 30 dice: Las esposas deben sujetarse a sus esposos así como lo hacen con Cristo, porque el esposo es cabeza de su esposa, así como Cristo es cabeza de su iglesia y también su Salvador. Cristo es la cabeza y la iglesia es el cuerpo. Por eso las esposas deben sujetarse a su esposo en todo, así como la iglesia se sujeta a Cristo. Los esposos deben amar a sus esposas, así como Cristo amó a la iglesia y dio su vida por ella. Lo hizo para hacerla solo suya, limpiándola por medio de su mensaje y del bautismo. Cristo quiso regalarse a sí mismo una iglesia gloriosa, apartada del mal y perfecta, como un vestido sin una sola arruga, ni una sola mancha, ni nada parecido. El esposo debe amar a su esposa, así como ama a su propio cuerpo. El hombre que ama a su esposa se ama a sí mismo, porque nadie desprecia su propio cuerpo. Al contrario, lo alimenta, lo cuida, del mismo modo que Cristo cuida a la iglesia. En realidad, cada uno de nosotros forma parte de la iglesia, que es el cuerpo de Cristo.
I like that.
Yeah. So, as a single woman.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes, that's me. Single and present. Okay.
What are you looking for, or what is your expectations of the marriage that you're going to have?
Of the marriage or the man?
Marriage.
For a marriage, like some expectations I have is I want a provider. I think we talked about this in a previous podcast,
Yeah.
where I grew up, where I was like, ain't nobody maintaining me. Like, if one day, God forbid, something happens to my partner or my husband or whatever, and I'm left alone, I should be able to provide for myself. Like, I should have an out. But in a marriage, yes, I'm still gonna be working. Sure, of course, like in this economy. but that doesn't mean, just because I'll be working doesn't mean that you can just sit around and do nothing. I'm sorry. I am not going to be your sugar mama. You better handle it, and you better provide for the household, because you ain't providing for me. You're providing for our home. And if you want a home, you have to provide and you have to take care of it. You can't expect a plant to just grow and not feed it, not water it, not fertilize it, not take out all the bugs that try to eat it. Like, you need to maintain that home.
Yeah.
And part of maintaining a home is providing.
Is that a big one on your list?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, and I think we've talked about this before, where it's like, I almost feel like a little bit kind of scared to admit that.
Yeah.
Because a part of me feels like, in this culture, in the society that we live in right now, if you say that, you are looked upon as a gold digger.
Or not even that, as like
como mantenida, like you just want to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not it. It's just that if I were ever to find myself in a position where something happens to me, or how something happens to my other person, like, we need to have some sort of backup. Like, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to live just to get by. I want to live knowing that I will be okay, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And in this economy, the only way that that's gonna work is if two people work. That, or you got a bomb job.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So that is one of the biggest things that I look for in a marriage, is somebody that is going to provide for the household and a family. At this point, I mean, who knows, right? I don't know what my life is going to hold for myself.
Yeah.
I want a family. Am I going to have it? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. At this point, I do feel like I would want children in a marriage. But again, with the time going and coming, that could change. I don't know. You know, I've always said, when I was younger, I was like, I have to have kids. I'm gonna have them. Now it's more like, well, if I have them, I have them. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
I've become a little bit more lenient now. And after working so many years with all of these kids, you know, nannying, babysitting, and all these things, I know what it takes out of you to take care of a kid, not only mentally, emotionally,
Everything.
financially.
Yeah.
I kind of have like a little bit of an insight, because I don't have kids on my own, but I have an insight on what that entails. And let me tell you, to be a parent, I applaud you. because that is one of the
you.
most selfless things you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really got to humble yourself and put somebody else first.
Yeah.
Because you are no longer your own priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is like, oh, well, you know what? At this point, con lo que Dios quiera, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, in that specific aspect, I am very traditional, where I do feel like I need me a man's man. Yeah. Which, you know, I kind of, again, like I said, it's not something that you think about when you're younger, but when you're older, you're like, nah, don't play with me. Like, no, you want me to do all these things and still work? I need you to step it up as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to require that of a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I have grown so much from when I started dating, where it's like, you're so scared to ask these questions. And now you're just
It's like you have to.
So what are your plans?
Especially, I think if you're dating with intention of marriage, you have to ask these questions. I don't know. I would be like, what's your credit score?
Yeah.
Do you have a house? Do you have enough savings for a house? What is your future looking like? Mm-hmm. Are you making any career changes? If so, why? You know what I mean? Like, the questions that are needed.
Now I have had to ask certain questions. Like you said, like, I'll ask, so what is it that you're doing with your career right now? And I have had a couple of people like, oh, I'm just switching careers. How long is that going to take? What does that look like to you? Okay. Are you going to spend a couple years broke and then build yourself up? No problem. I need a realistic time frame.
Yep.
Like, that, don't get me wrong. Like, switching careers is fine and dandy. I've done it. I don't even know how many times. But
yeah.
But you can't just change without having a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that leads to instability. And I'm not about to be out here unstable.
Grown and unstable. Absolutely not.
No. But again, these are things that you talk about. So now it's like I have these conversations with people and they're like, oh shoot, like you're thinking long term. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not here to pasar tiempo and like waste my time. Yeah. I'm not trying to waste your time either. Like, either figure it out, or if you're not there, then what are you doing dating?
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for something quick and easy,
go to Tinder.
Go to Tinder. Go to Tinder, because this ain't it.
Yeah.
And they quickly realize. And let me tell you something. There's nothing that is going to make you realize if a man is down for you or not if you quickly tell them, so what are your plans for your future? Where do you see yourself? And all these things, because then they're going to be like, oh, she's scary. She's talking real. I ain't down to stick with you. I barely know you. But for the right guy, it's going to be like, I am not ready to sit down yet, but I'm interested to go the long term.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that's when you build to a marriage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I had a perspective of marriage. I'm trying to think back 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
She had this talk early on and she meant it, and she got married.
Yeah. No, I knew since I was 14.
Yeah.
I knew
really young.
that I wanted to be married. Like, I knew that was the goal for me. I knew that I did not want to be, I didn't want to be like single and dating. I knew that I didn't want to like, I just didn't want to do that. I was like, I am a long-term person. I love hard, and I just want to love one person if possible. But if that doesn't happen, then just a couple. Like, que me quepan en esta mano, por favor, because I don't want to do all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I really just want to be, and then I wanted to be with somebody or get married with somebody kind of young and then like build a life with and like grow together
almost
and stuff like that. So I
wants them very young.
So I remember I didn't have an example of marriage, of a good marriage at all, ever. Even now, do I have an example of marriage? I probably don't.
Really?
Yeah, because I would think like it's somebody older. And I don't even know. I don't think so, though. I don't think I have an example of be like, I want to be like them when we're older. Like, I don't think I have that feeling. Somebody close to me. Obviously, on social media, it's different. I got like
right? 2 people, and I think it's like everybody's
people, like personal, like that you can be like, you can go up to them and be talk. Like, hey, how did you deal with this?
Yeah.
Like, how did y'all overcome this? Like, I don't have that. And so I didn't know what I expected for marriage, but all I knew was I want to be friends with my person. I want to have fun with my person. I want to have respect with my person. And I want us to love each other with my, like, till death do us part type of thing.
So when you first started out, right before you married Oscar, same question that you asked me, what were the expectations that you had for a marriage? And do you feel like you have, like, completed los todos?
So yeah, so I wanted to have fun with my person. I wanted to be friends. I wanted to respect, and I wanted to love. Do I feel like we've had this?
Like you've
for the most part,
for
the most part, there has been situations and things that we have gone through where maybe the respect wasn't there, maybe the love was questionable, you know, and even like because I think if both of those things, they affect that into fun and friendship as well. But I think for the most part, we do have this to where I can say, like, do I feel loved by my husband? Yes, I do. Does he feel love? Yes, he does. Do we have respect? Absolutely. We do. We have boundaries that we do not cross, even if we're mad. And y'all,
those boundaries are hard not to cross.
And he can go off. Like, we both have a mouth, and yet we have boundaries that we do not cross, no matter how angry we are. And then friends, we are a little bit more friends than anything, to be honest. And then have fun. Like right now, he was like, hey, like, I want to watch TV. I need you to be done already, because I want you to come down here and watch TV with it. Because we, even in those little things.
He's like, I want you here with me.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to watch TV by myself.
Yeah, like, and then, you know what I mean? So I do think that hemos cumplido eso. And so I am.
And that's the thing. Like, once you have that solid foundation, as long as you have that, I feel like you can go through anything.
Yeah.
Foundation and God. Let's just say that. Because if it's not for God, there's some things que no te perdono. I'm sorry, if I didn't have God, I would not forgive you.
Same. I think, yeah.
If
both of us,
if we go to the nitty-gritty,
if both of us wouldn't have God in our lives, I think we would have been divorced already. Yeah,
that's hard,
because divorce has come up in my marriage.
Ooh, hey,
more than
that's
once.
That's a toughie. Oh, you're hitting me left and right.
Yeah. I'll be like open and transparent. Yeah, it has hit us more than once. We've had this talk more than once. We're still married.
We're still here.
I don't have my ring, but I left it downstairs. But we're still married. And I love our marriage now.
That's good. That's how you know you're in it for real.
Yeah.
Because if you go through the hard ones, that means that you're real. Because si no cualquiera se aguanta lo difícil and just be like at the first one that I'm like upset, angry, betrayed, whatever, you're out the door.
Which is lo que se está moviendo ahorita. That's like,
the thing.
You do not have to deal with anything. Like, you know, you can be out and whatever. I believe in divorce? I do.
I do now. I didn't before.
Like I do, because I'm married and I've been through some things, and so I do believe in, you know, divorce. But is that the goal? Is that like our go-to? No, we literally touch that subject only when we're like, this is bad.
And then I think about it, I'm like, what's the point of going up there, saying your vows until forever, death do us part, and like in the good and in the bad, when you're just technically want to be in there for the good. And you don't sit through the bad and work through it.
Exactly.
There's no point in making those vows.
Yeah.
You might as well just say, I just want to be here for the good.
Yeah, and if you do me good,
I'm out.
Yeah.
There's no point. Literally no point.
And it depends on too what bad. That's why I say I believe in divorce.
It does depend on the
because
bad.
If there is like emotional abuse, physical abuse, you have to be out a la primera, hopefully. Because if you stay there, it's really, I don't know, unless they really try and get the help that they need, they're gonna change. But otherwise, that's I don't know.
I used to when
I wouldn't be able to sit with that one.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to go through that bad.
I used to say when I was younger, I don't believe in divorce. and then we had our pastor talk about divorce and marriage, and that was the very first time that I remember we even talked about divorce in the church, period. And I was just like, whoa. And then he brought up Bible verses, which I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what that is. They were talking about, you know, emotional, physical abuse, cheating, like it's all in the Bible. And to me, even now, I still say, when people ask me, believe it or not, people do ask that on dates, and they bring up prenup and divorce, because I'm like, I'm not the only one. Yeah.
Do you believe in prenups?
Yeah,
actually,
we talked about this. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes,
I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Get a prenup, y'all.
Yeah, some people now, that's one of the things they do. They ask on dates.
I don't have a prenup.
Damn. Oh well, you were young.
But
okay.
No, even I think because I was 19,
yeah,
we didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So we were literally both building. But if I were to be dating to get married now, prenup all the way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't work this hard for you to mess up or do something real stupid to me, and then you're gonna get half of my stuff. Got me all types of messed up.
Yeah, so that's why I always say, like, I don't believe in divorces, but I believe in the divorce that the Bible talks about. And I'll say that all day, every day. Now, back in the day, not so much. But now, yes. And whenever they bring up, like, prenups and stuff, I'm like, yes, that's fine. As long as there are terms that I agree to and that you agree to, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I see no issue with it now. And I know a lot of people are saying, like, well, why even do prenups? It's like you're basically saying you're condemning your marriage, that it's not going to work out. No, it's not. You're protecting yourself and you're protecting the other person with their own personal interests. I remember I had a friend of a friend. It wasn't my friend, but I knew them. And they were saying, like, oh, like, they were just getting married. They were like, oh, you're going to change your name? And they were like, no. Why? And they were like, well, you know, isn't that what you normally do after a wedding? Like, you get married, you take your husband's name. And she was American, but she was just like, no, like, I build my life to get to where I am. I am like a doctor now because of who I am and what I did. This is my name. I am not about to be doctor of my husband's name. I am doctor of myself. This is who I am. This is my name. It's not going to change. He's not going to get the credit for the work that I've done. And he agrees with me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes so much sense.
It makes sense for them.
For them.
Because the husband agreed. What if he didn't?
Yeah, that's something that, again, you gotta talk about.
You have to talk about. You have to have. I think in a marriage, you have to be like on the same page. And even when you're not on the same page, that's when you should be looking out. Like, you should be speaking to other married couples to get some type of like opinion and advice on how to handle these situations. So, have you had any marriage examples close to you, or of good or bad?
I have. I have had many examples in my life where it has been dead end relationships, where it's like, it's just cohabitating. Like, y'all married, but y'all ain't a partnership. Y'all are literally just cohabitating. And it has been like an older couple, like which I understand back in the day, especially from like where my parents are from. They grew up as like, you get married, you have kids, like you are building a family. Like, you are not marrying for love. That's not what we do. And unfortunately, that happened a lot in my family. A lot. Like, and I have over like, I have 7 aunts, 1 uncle. Well, no, 6 aunts, because that's including my mom. 6 aunts and 1 uncle, and 1 aunt that passed away when she was really young. So there was 9 in total. And I could probably tell you right now that there's only like maybe 1 that married out of love.
Wow.
1 or 2, yeah. Yeah, and the rest, it was something that you just did if you wanted to survive. It's just something that you did. And to this day, it's like, it's more of like, well, you know, you are to take care of me financially, like you are my husband, this is your responsibility.
Yeah,
my responsibility. I gave you kids, I gave you a home. And unfortunately, that's how it was back in the day if you wanted to survive. I also have a couple other examples where it's like I have an idea and an example of what I don't want a marriage to look like.
Yeah.
You know, I never really understood when I was young, because I thought, again, you have rose-colored glasses. You're like, you think everything's great. You're a child. What do you know? Like, and I thought everything was great when I was younger. And I realized seeing other people around me and seeing other family members, I was like, that's not what I want my marriage to look like. I don't want it shouldn't be normal to just hear this like desacuerdo y contienda en una relación.
So I was about to ask you that. So what are some things that you see in a marriage that you're like, that ain't it?
When you're not I don't know what the other word is, and I know you know it. So when you hear me say it, you can say the other part. When you are reactive instead of
proactive. Isn't it?
I mean, yes. So, an example, and I think it's because there's so many things we talk about.
An action to your reaction to your action type of thing.
Yeah. So whenever, I'll give you an example. Whenever there's some type of disagreement in a marriage, and instead of trying to talk it out, the first thing you do is you start yelling.
Oh, that's what I tell Oscar. That is something that we had to come to terms with. I had to again, we've been married since I was 19. He was 22. We were both young. Okay, both of us, we haven't had an example of what a good marriage or a healthy marriage look like. So we're both coming in like, we're trying to figure this out. And so obviously I have a temper, I have a mouth. He has a temper, he has a mouth. And so it's like fire and fire.
Yeah. Yep.
So for a long time, years upon years, we will fight and we will go at each other's throat. Again, there were boundaries, but we will go at each other's throat and stuff like that. And so then I really learned, like, okay, when we're having these fights or these conversations, because they start as conversations and then we don't agree with each other and they didn't turn into fights, we had to learn, like, are you listening?
Like, what's the purpose?
What is the purpose? Are you listening to, or are you letting them speak to have a comeback and have like
a response?
Yeah, like, you shot at me, I'm gonna shoot you 3 more times. Or are you listening to really figure out what the issue was, to then come up with a resolution? So which one is it? And so we had to learn that. And sometimes I would have to be the one that has to listen to it and has to kind of like break down, you're saying all of this, but in reality you're just basically saying, I want to feel loved. So one example that we would get into fights. So the submitting part of this Bible verse, boy, did I struggle with that. I come from 2 women who are independent, who who literally were single moms. Our dad was never around. My sister's father of her kids was never around. So they literally were the ones calling the shots and doing everything forever. And so they always taught me, like, you do not take crap from anyone. And so that I came into that mentality, of course, independent, like, nadie te va a tener que mantener, tú tienes que trabajar, tú tienes que hacer tus cosas, pero they also are very much like old school, traditional. We come from el campo to where, like, pero tú tienes que limpiarle la ropa, tú tienes que cocinarle, and I remember, I am a very, you don't tell me what to do. So I came in with that attitude of, you don't tell me what to do. So the submitting part of, like, well,
you're like, I ain't about to be sumisa.
Yeah, like, no, like, cook, you got 2 hands to feet, go.
Yep.
We got all the things that we need to cook a meal. Go. And while you're at it, cook mine. And so it took me a while, and we had to have different conversations in different stages of our lives, to where he was like, hey, but I feel love when you cook for me. Like, you putting in that effort of learning this recipe that I know that because he knew that he married me, and he knew that we were about to starve. you I couldn't cook. That was a given. Like, no habían como nothing.
Let me tell
hidden.
you, she's come a long way. She still doesn't try her food. She still doesn't try what she's cooking.
Yeah.
Me and her son will try it, and we'll be like, "Oh, it tastes good," or "That's a little salty," or "You need more condiments." But I'll be like, you know what? This is actually pretty good.
It's like, so, I mean, he knew that I didn't cook or anything, but he was like, hey, like, I see the amount of effort that you put in cooking this meal.
And that effort to me is your love.
Your love.
Yeah.
That is like such a big thing of your love. So now it's like, he's not telling me, hey, you need to cook for me. But now I know that this is his love language. And how I am going to someterme a él and like show him love too is me doing this part for him. And so there's other things where he is he is an independent, like I don't have to wash his clothes, things like that. Like he does it on his own. But for the most part, it's like there's little things that I can do to show that love for him and to submit in some ways. Now, talking about submission. When these fools out here are wanting to be stupid,
look,
or make some really bad
decisions
for the family, and you have to put up with their crap because I am the head of the household. Because scripture says that el hombre es la cabeza. What does it say? El esposo es cabeza de su esposa, así como Cristo es la cabeza de la iglesia.
And it also says, let's point that out, that the
We're
wife
not there
is
yet.
okay. You know what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start right. Fools acting like fools.
Okay.
Where are you at with that? Do you think of that regardless of what some man says, even if technically they're wrong, because it says that women are supposed to submit to their husbands, will you still submit?
No. Screw you.
Do you think that you'll be wrong?
No.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Because if I know, okay, if I know that my husband is about to make a wrong decision, I'm not about to let you look like a fool, baby boy. I'm not. If you want to go look a fool, you can do that on your own time. But when you're with me, I'm supposed to elevate you. I'm supposed to make you look good.
What if they
and
don't
if
care?
If you're making a bad choice and you're doing that to hurt not only like yourself, you think you're doing the right choice. That's fine. You can think that all day long. But I'm gonna call you out on that.
And what if they don't listen?
And if they don't listen, then guess what? That's your choice. Deal with the consequences. But I'm already telling you that this is gonna go down wrong, and you do me wrong, and you still decide to go through it. There's going to be some consequences that come with that, and you got to accept them. And if you don't accept those consequences, then that's another conversation, because it's one thing to do you wrong or to even make the wrong decisions, even if you think you're doing them for the family. But if you don't accept the consequences of your actions, did you really learn? I don't think so, because that means that you are putting us in jeopardy of making the same mistake twice, and you don't learn. And can we move on to the next part or no?
What? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. You're on a roll.
So if I know that my head is sick, if I know that my neurons aren't firing correctly, if my head is not telling my mouth to move, or my head is not telling my hands, hey, you need to grab that cup because it's going to fall and it's going to break and you're going to hurt your feet because now there's glass everywhere, how is my hand going to be able to move if my head doesn't tell my hand to do that? And now my body is hurt because my head's not working. Same thing as a wife and a husband. Okay, me, the wife, is supposed to be the body, right? Because my head is my husband. The wife is the body. If he's already telling me something wrong, he's already telling the body what to do. That's something that's wrong.
Yeah.
That means that the body can't fully function.
Well, it can, but it won't.
Wrong. It'll function incorrectly. It'll be a malfunction. So if I can prevent it, if I can find a way to help the head, I should. That's part of my duties.
What if, I know that we're here talking into this, and I'm in the same boat as you, okay?
Okay.
But what if...
The butts have come in. Go for
Always. What if... Sorry. Okay. What if the man makes a decision for the household, but because... And he makes it like thinking that it's the right decision. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, no. But I have a conviction in my heart, honestly, that we
Give
are...
me an example.
Like, let's say like moving to churches.
Okay.
Let's say that you're married and your husband says, hey, Emily, I know that you're serving as a teacher right now. I know that we've been in this church for 10 years now, but I have felt it in my heart that it's time for us to move from this church. Mm-hmm. I don't know, for whatever reason, but I feel like we need to move. And you are not in agreement. Does that make you wrong? Or does that make him wrong?
So
because sometimes,
yes.
Nosotros de mujeres, if I'm honest, I am Melissa, I am going to confess, sometimes we think that we're always right.
Yes.
And sometimes we're wrong.
Yes. So
I'm not going to say that no more times.
The one and done. That's
one and done. You better replay this podcast all the time.
Okay. In that scenario, okay, in the scenario you just described, right? Yeah. Husband wants to move churches, you don't agree, but he spoke it, it's gonna be done. Now this is where you come in as a wife. If you know that he's already made that choice and he's made that choice for your family, it's not up to you to change his mind anymore. Now it's your job as a wife to do your other responsibilities. Your hands are supposed to be hands, your feet are supposed to be feet, you got a mouth. You know what time it is now? It's prayer time. Now it's time for you to go down on your knees, be like, Lord, if this is what you have told my husband, I ask you to back us up. I ask you to protect us, and I ask you to help him lead us the right way.
But you're going.
Because I may not agree. I may not agree, but I'm like, but Lord, I'm asking you, as the wife of this family, if this is not what you revealed to him, and this has been revealed by somebody else or something else, and this is not according to your plan, I ask you to back us up. I ask you to make sure that we have a way to come back to you, that we do not separate ourselves from you and from your will. Because the only thing you can do at that point is make sure that you are backed up by God. Because if you're not, then even if he fails, even if he moves to the wrong church and he brings your family into this wrong church and you guys are hurt by that church, you know that, okay, a mistake is a mistake. But what is our comeback going to look like? Are we going to separate ourselves from that church? Are we going to separate ourselves from the church, which is us? Are we going to separate ourselves from our relationship with God? Or are we going to be like, all right, husband, that was our mistake. This is something that you thought was good and it was not. It hurt us. So now we need to figure out what we need to do.
What's our
we're
next
not
steps?
We're not making the same mistake again. I'm not saying that like, husband, I can't trust you to make another mistake when it comes to our faith, when it comes to moving churches. That's not what I'm saying. That doesn't count for every mistake. But I'm saying in this first little scenario, I'm not saying that I'm not going to trust you again, but I am saying that you better make sure it comes from God. You better have prayed for it. You better have a unite over it. You better be in what's it called? You better be in accordance with God's will. Because if you're not, then we're gonna go through the same path.
And that's the thing that I feel like, just as women, again, like we think that sometimes we are fully right on some stuff and that the man is always wrong, and so we have to be like, no man, like, yes, we're the body and you're only the head, but we are going to tell you, head, where to move. Like, we are going to be the ones guiding you versus you're the one that's guiding us. And so nosotros de mujeres fallamos en esa parte porque no tiene que ser así.
We want to be head.
We want to be head when we're called to be the body. Like, stay in your lane. Right? Pero también a veces I feel like que los hombres en un marriage, ya sea de generaciones pasadas, ya sean de ahorita, ya sea como whatever, a veces los hombres saben que ellos son cabeza porque están en la escritura, and they take that power and use it for wrong. And they don't go into the Lord, and they use words that know that will get us to follow them, pero no son reales.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Entonces ahí ellos caen en algo mal, because it says that los esposos deben amar a sus esposas como Cristo amó a la iglesia y dio su vida por ella.
Exactly.
And then it says like, tú tienes que cuidarte a ti, right? El amar como su propio cuerpo. El hombre que ama a su esposa se ama a sí mismo, porque nadie desprecia a su propio cuerpo. Al contrario, lo alimenta, lo cuida del mismo modo que Cristo lo hace con la iglesia. So te da un claro ejemplo a los esposos to be like, in every decision that you make, you not only think about what benefits you're going to gain, you don't only think about like, is this gonna be am I gonna be in a better status?
Yes.
Am I gonna be in more control of me and my wife and my family? And none of that. Like, you don't abuse your power, but you really like take in and be like, whatever decision I make, it's going to be for the benefit of me and mine.
And let's make that clear. It's not just like, oh, well, I feel like this is the right decision for my family, so we're gonna do it.
Final.
No.
Yeah.
No. First of all, if you feel like, all right, you know what, we have come to this point in our lives, I feel like this is a change that we need. First, you come to God. You come to the God and you ask him, hey, is this your will? Please, I'm gonna
Pray, fast, do anything.
I'm gonna pray fast over it.
Yeah.
And I want your validation.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that this is according to your will. Second, while you're doing that, okay, you do not close yourself out to your family.
Yeah.
Now, after you have talked to God, let's go talk to wife.
The family, yeah.
Let's go talk to the family.
Because again, it goes into like, bueno, yo ya dije eso y punto.
Y esto se va a hacer. No.
And it's like, wait, hold
No.
on. It's not, then that's not a conversation.
That's not a conversation.
That's like dictatorship here.
Yes.
And yes, you're the cabeza, and
But
yes,
this is
you're
a
the one that
partnership,
guide.
not a dictatorship.
Exactly. Like, you can't be headless. Like, a body cannot be headless. Si le cortan la cabeza a un body, it's not going to survive.
It's not.
In the same way, si le cortan la cabeza al bot, like the bottom half no va a survive. So we both need each other.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna let you guide me, and based on how you treat me, based on how you love me, based on how you respect me, that would be if it's going to be easier for me to submit to you. Because if you have disrespected me, if you belittled me, if you treat me like crap, like I have no word, no say, what makes you think that I'm gonna back
I'm
you
gonna
up?
be down. It's not. No, it doesn't make any sense.
But yet, if you have always put me as Christ puts the church, que es primero, que like lays down their life, and in every way you're an example of like, hey, I know that I have this power, or I know that I have this position when it comes to how Christ wants us to live in our marriage. But yet, I love you and I'm going to make the best decisions for us. Dude,
Yeah.
what you want from me? You get.
Say the word.
Submissive all the way, baby. What's up?
Yeah. So like she said, like depending on that relationship, depending on that respect and that love that y'all have for each other, the easier it will be for you to have that open conversation, because it's not a closed conversation. Like we said, it's a conversation, a mutual understanding that we will sit down and talk through it. Even if it's something that you feel like you don't agree with, okay, that's fine. Just the same as hubby did. Now it's your turn. Go, sit, pray,
do all the things.
fast, and talk about it. Because even if you don't have an answer right now, you will have an answer at the end,
And
no
then-
matter how long it takes.
Yeah, and even if you prayed, even if you did all this, and like let's say that if there's a timeline and you have, and the husband is already making those moves, and you still don't have an answer,
At least you know
based
you're
on-
covered.
Based on how you respect, based on how they have treated you up until this point, you can be like, okay, I'm going to move forward with where my head is telling me to go, based on the whole relationship and how they have respected me and the Lord. And I will trust, and if we make a mistake, then I will trust that he, even in the mistake, will make a good decision on how to bring us back to where we need to be. And so it has to be mutual.
Yes.
It is a partnership.
Yeah, because I fully believe that one one side of the partnership does not make all the decisions.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't,
whether the woman,
the whole
or the man. Yeah.
What's it called? They shouldn't make they shouldn't be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
Of the agreement or with the discussion or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. You're two different people with different mentalities that come together to be one under God, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. You know, both of y'all think different ways. You know, even though you are both fiery and you both are loud, you and Oscar, that doesn't mean that Oscar thinks the way that you do and you don't think the way that Oscar does. But when you go down and pray on your knees and fast, at least you know, okay, I fully trust my husband to make the right decision for our families, and I believe that he is making these decisions without the intent of hurting us, because he thinks that this is the right thing to do. Fine. At least I know that I did my due diligence in making sure that God has got us and he has backed us up, that if something were to happen, I'm not worried, because I know that he's in our corner and he is going to be there for us, because we trust our husband to be there for us. Yeah. Because again, remember, the husband is the head as God, Christ, going off of here, as Christ is for the bride of the church. Yes.
Yeah. And even in the beginning of that verse, it says, las esposas deben sujetarse a sus esposos, así como lo hacen con Cristo. So in the same way that we are like, we're going to lay down our will and let your will be done, Christ. In the same way, if a husband is loving and caring and respectful as Christ is with the church, in the same way, the church is like, okay, even if this is not my will, even if this is not my want, my desire, my whatever, I am going to still submit and let your guidance be done. Let your will be whatever. So, unmarried.
Yes.
What are some good advices that some married people have given you?
I already said the one, don't be reactive.
Okay.
Listen. Yes. And I know that one, and I can personally give that advice only because I have, gone to situations where, I even now I can definitely admit that I'm still a little bit more reactive than I wish I was.
I think all of us.
Just a little bit,
We're in the same boat.
But then you have to look into yourself, do a deeper analyze, and psychoanalyze yourself. Be like, why am I reacting? Why, instead of just sitting down and talking about it, why am I having this reaction? Is there like some sort of trust missing here? Is there something that's going on that I'm mad about, that I shouldn't be mad about, that doesn't apply to this? Or any other outside factors? Because one thing that I see a lot of people forget about in not only marriages, but in relationships, period, is that people forget that that other person has other stuff going on too. That other person has emotions. That other person has feelings. That other person has other things going on in their lives. Again, we wish we were the center of the world, and true, and sometimes we can be, but they also got work. They also got emotions. They also got real life going on, bills, taxes, hormones, everything. We are not the only ones with hormones. Let's just say that, okay? And you also got to take that person's feelings and thoughts and emotions into consideration. When you're in a partnership, it's hard to not always want to be right. Okay, I speak from experience where I went through a relationship, and I talked to you about this, where I felt like I was always right, and I felt like, man, like this, yes, it's great to be right, but in this instance, I don't want to be right. And it took a lot for me.
Like you wish it was like a different scenario. Like
it took some self-reflection to be like, I'm not right because I'm right. I'm right because this person is wrong. He's doing wrong. That's why I'm right. Because it was more of the obvious right. Yeah. So that's one thing, from as a single person looking from the outside in, that I can be like, maybe like, wait, just hear this person out. Hear your husband, because like you may be thinking it from an emotional side, but what he's saying makes sense. It's rational. But when we're angry, when we're in our emotions, we don't We don't just sit. We don't just, like you said, like you're already thinking about what your comeback is going to be instead of hearing that other person out and not having an automatic response. That's something that I have learned a lot from just, you know, the privilege I've had of being close to certain people's relationships or marriages, you know. And that's, you know, God has given me the opportunity to be friends with older people that are not my age. Many different couples where I have learned different things from different people. And I'm like, man, like, this is good to know for when I start something, when I am in something serious.
Name, like, rapid fire, like 3 things.
Rapid fire. Wait, like, in a...
3 things that you've learned of what you, that will make your marriage strong when you get to that place.
Have compassion and love. Let's just say that. Not be reactive, and have don't be complacent. Don't I cannot emphasize that enough.
Love that one.
Don't be complacent.
That
and
is,
if you don't understand, sure, let's talk about it.
I was going to say, like, that is one of my biggest advices, or the main one that I will give to single people coming into marriage, or even marriages that are right, like, que ya están casados, right? Don't be complacent on both ends.
Yes.
Like, women, I know that we tend to get comfortable.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about body types.
No.
I want to make that very clear.
As in comfortable in the relationship.
In everything. Except body types, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, a little bit different. But when you let go of a lot of things because your identity now is tied to a mom, especially happens when that transition happens, when the kids thing, or like, like, I already have a man. So I don't need to work hard anymore, type of thing.
I'm this person's wife.
Like, that is something that we should really try not to fall into, because we then let ourselves go, and not in the way of like of anything exterior, but like we literally let our identity go. Yes. Like, we forget what our hobbies were. We forget what we liked. We forget how we like to dress. We forget how we like to put on makeup. We forget all of these things that honestly is how you probably attracted the person that you're with. And so, as women, we have to continue that. We have to be able to still, like, put ourselves together. Not probably for men out there to llamar la atención, like we said in our last podcast, but I do want to llamar la atención to my husband. And we have to be realistic. Even though we're in Christ, and even though we walk this journey with him, we can't deny the fact that we live in a fallen world, and
we're still human. Like, we're not made out of stardust. We're made out of blood and sweat.
Where we still make mistakes, where we still have eyes that can, like, see a fine thing walking through, like we want to look on both ends. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, women, like, do it number one for you, and do it also for, like, your person. Like, yes, you're with them already, and they love you, and they love you for you. That's why they want to do life with you.
Exactly.
However, I would like to do life with somebody that it's attractive, like, to me.
To you, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not attractive to XYZ person, and all right, well, that's you and whatever. But it's attractive to me. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to still have that feeling, because guess what? That feeling would transition over to sex, because there's a lot of sexless marriages.
Oh, yes. Now
that's a whole different
thing. Yes.
Bald game.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, one day we'll talk about that.
But in the same way, some men like to go in as hard as I just went in for the women. They can, like, let go of themselves in their identity, and like to go in with a las mujeres. They can, like, oh, well, you let yourself go, and no te arreglas, and you don't dress up for me anymore, and you don't excite me, and whatever. But homie, when was the last time that you bought her flowers?
True.
When was the last time that you bought her chocolates? When was the last time that you wrote her a letter saying how fine she is and like how you're so still in love with her? When was the last time that you washed the dishes for her? When was the last time that you picked up your own boxers from the freaking floor without her screaming and telling you about? When was the last time that you took over bath time for the kids? When was the last time that you put them to sleep? When was the last time that you cooked something? When was the last time that you put an effort into your relationship? Because you so mad and worried about what they're doing and what they're not doing, yet
you don't worry about what you're doing. You can't expect that 24/7 from somebody else.
So
you don't carry your own weight.
So you let go también.
Exactly. Because letting go is not just something physical.
Exactly.
It's not just something like that is based on appearance and attractiveness. It's also on your actions and how you treat your other person.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much. Okay. One thing that like I have heard from multiple people that is like a big thing that I was like, I need this for my marriage and I cannot not have it. They said, you got to be constantly dating. Yes. And they said, absolutely. Hold on. And they said, not only like, oh, take her out to eat, bring her flowers, chocolates. No. When you're dating, you're making certain sacrifices. You're making certain moves to attract that other person. It's not always about sex. It's not always about take me out to the nicest, fanciest, flashiest restaurant. Buy me some high heels, Gucci bag, whatever. No. Sometimes it's like, I will show you my love by cooking for you, by cleaning, vacuuming the house. Baby, you don't have to worry about it. And stay in bed. I'll cook breakfast. I'll get the kids ready. I'll take them to school. Or if
you don't want to do it as a man, pay someone to do it.
Please.
Y'all want some housekeepers? I'll give you some phone numbers. Y'all need a nanny? I got one right here. What you need to help your wife?
I had one man tell me like, oh, well, you know, like, I'm not good at cooking or cleaning. Like, well, but you are. And I was like, no problem. That's fine. That's why you have a job, right? You can always hire somebody because I'll be working too. And he said, well, I mean, I'm not making enough money to hire someone. Then you got 2 hands and 2 feet working. You got YouTube Learn.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah. I come from a family, like all my family, they all know how to cook. Great cooks. My mom makes some bomb pupusas. Like, I love her food. I am not the best cook. I will admit that right now. I am not the best baker, but I am pretty good at what I cook and what I bake. Okay. But I am like you. If I gotta go make a sopa de pollo or something, I'm gonna YouTube it or I'm gonna call my mom. Mommy told me step by step. I did that on a date once.
Oh, you did? You cooked for them?
I called. Yeah. I was at, their mother's house and they had invited me and I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm about to use your kitchen, I'm so sorry. They're like, no, go for it. They were happy. I called my mom so she could give me the instructions to make so I could make my mom's soup. Oh, it was technically like, it was fried mustard chicken. So good. But I was just like, you know what, I want to impress, I'm gonna make this chicken. I've seen her make it thousands of times, how hard can it be? So I was like, I'm gonna send this person over to the grocery store while I start cooking. The mom was like, can I help you? I was like, no, don't worry about it, I'll do it. And she was like, okay, I'm just gonna have fun watching you. And I was like, please don't tease me. And she's like, no, don't worry about it. So I started cooking and everything, and I'm doing great. And I'm calling my mom. I'm like, Mom, I just need to know. I feel like I'm missing a step. I didn't do this right. And then she was like, yeah, no, you do this and this and this and this and this. And the person comes back, food is done, rice is done, everything's done. And they were like, dang, like I was expecting something really bad. But I can't tell you how like grateful I am for this moment. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, thanks. And ever since then, like it has been like a thing for me. Like I know how to cook, but I'm gonna be intentional in learning how to cook, because you can know how to do something, but when it comes to actually practicing it, it's a different story. Because knowing something and learning something is different. I can know my ABCs. But did I actually learn them? I know that A is in there, and I know that C is in there, and I know that F is in there. But where do they go? I don't know. So it's one of those things, right? So
for sure, continue dating.
Yeah.
Both of you guys have to put in effort. It's funny because this morning, so I started doing my own nails at home. and nails are dumb, right?
They're expensive.
Nails are dumb. And so for me, but even those little things, I want to be acknowledged by my husband. And so I have changed up my colors so many times already, and he would always be like, okay, well, what color did you get? And now my son is like that now. He'll be like, Mom, oh, you wearing blue today? Like, oh, that's a nice color, whatever. And so my husband was like that too, but for a while he kind of like stopped looking at my nails, and that had me in my feelings. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, I do my nails so that my nails could be pretty. Hello, pay attention. But I didn't communicate that, right?
Yeah.
And so last week I did something new. Like, I did chrome nails, and then this week I have like this nude and like with little chrome dots on them. And so we were watching TV earlier, and he looked at my nails and he was like, oh, that's so cute. I was like, about time you look at my nails. About time you acknowledge my nails. And he's like, babe, I always look at your nails. And I was like, well, thank you, but I need you to say that. I need you to say that's cute or whatever. Like, validate that for me real quick.
And that's the thing. If you don't speak up and say something like that, like how would you know that he liked you doing your nails if he never said, oh, I like them, or how nice? I had one instance
you tell me
recently.
I'm like, you tell me that you like my nails. Guess what I want to do now?
All my nails every weekend. I'm gonna do my nails.
You tell me that you love my cooking. Guess what I'm about to do?
Cook.
You tell me that you like having sex. Guess what we're about to do?
Have sex. I had.
Come on, people.
I recently had somebody tell me, okay, we're not, we're not gonna go deeper than that. I just had somebody tell me recently, that. Okay, backstory. Every year I have certain seasons for everything, and that includes for hair. In the summer, I cut it. It's too long. I can't take it. It's too hot. We're in Houston. Come on. This has been one of the hottest summers ever.
Yeah.
So I cut it. Okay. And this person didn't know that about me, because I barely know you. And I let it grow all the way out through the summer until winter. So when winter comes, it's very long. And it grows back fast. So I had told them, oh yeah, I've had long hair for forever. And they met me with long hair. And then I told them, oh, I'm going to cut it. They're like, oh yeah, that's nice. How short? This person never told me they like long hair. So I cut it. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be like around my shoulders. It won't be that bad. It'll be short, but it won't be that bad. And it was already down to my waist. I guess they just thought that it wasn't going to be that short. And when they finally saw me again, they were like, oh, your hair's nice. And then I was like, oh, thanks. Didn't think much about it. I was just like, they're gonna be like, oh, you look nice, how cute. No, nothing. And then come back 2-3 days later, this person's like, I really liked your long hair. Well, why didn't you say something, dude? I can't put it back now. And they were like, yeah, I really liked your long hair. Don't get me wrong, I like your short hair and it's really cute for summer, but I really liked your long hair. And I was like, why didn't you say something? Now I don't want to ever cut it again. And it's like little by little, it was like up to here. And I was grown like 5 inches. And I'm like, I don't feel the growth as fast as I want it. But I'm like, it's fine. But that's the thing, right? You got to have communication. If you don't have the communication, how was I supposed to know that you like long hair? Dude, I would have kept my long hair for you all summer. Sure, screw that. But how else am I supposed to know? If you don't tell me, then I can't do anything that will attract you to me.
And if
you know that I like for you to take me out, buy me flowers, be romantic, give me compliments, then you're gonna do it because I've already told you, and that's how you will win me every day. You've already won me. Like, that's it. Like, I'm married to you, right? I'm not married, but I'm just saying, that's an example,
when that
right?
happens.
I'm already married, but that doesn't mean that you're done making that person fall in love with you. You're not. It's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
And I fully believe, I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but I realized now, I've come to terms with that loving, it's not just an emotion, it's a decision. It's a commitment that you make every day, and it's not something that is just as simple as an emotion.
No,
love is something that it's a choice that you make every day.
Mm-hmm. That's why when people say I've fallen out of love, I'm like, okay, you decided not to love that person anymore.
Exactly.
Because it's like, yeah, it's a decision. So let's move on to our Reddit story. Yeah.
Okay. This one says, am I the jerk for suggesting to my friend that she should shave?
No, because it has happened in this friendship. In this, and I do not consider myself a jerk for telling my friend.
We're not asking about you.
Shave.
We're not asking about you. We're asking about the Reddit story.
This is low-key me writing into Reddit. Especially, you're going to read the first sentence and you're going to know why. Dale.
I hate her. FYI. Okay, it says, my 29 female friend, let's call her Emily, 32 female, is an amazing person.
No dice eso.
It's an amazing person.
Okay.
That's not how you spell my name, but it's okay.
I wanted to despistar que no era yo. Just kidding, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I ain't no 32 female. Let's just say, look, I had just, look. No.
Read the story. Ahorita no estás para contar tu versión. Read the story. Después hablamos de eso.
Okay. Okay, where was I? Oh. She's fun, adventurous, intelligent, super active, a fantastic cook, outgoing, and just a great girl to be around. A few years ago, she decided not to shave anymore. Legs, armpits, female areas, out of protest to the patriarchy. Sorry, it's not funny, but it's so funny. Resulting in her having very long, dark hair everywhere. A few days ago, we were having a beer, and she told me how sad her dating life has been. That she kept meeting guys and having very fun dates, but never got a call back, or when she tried asking for a second or third date, got rejected in a very generic manner. Now, after telling her, you're so gorgeous and wonderful, the right man will come, don't worry, multiple times, I decided to go out on a limb and said something along the lines of, quote unquote, I know this is very superficial thing to say, but do you think it might help a little if you would shave? She was very taken aback and told me she was disappointed. I would suggest a change of her appearance for men and that I was the reason so many women were suppressed. I immediately apologized, but the evening was pretty much ruined. I texted her the next day apologizing again for hurting her, but she hasn't replied. I really did not want to hurt her, but I also don't quite see how my comment was that bad, so I am not sure how to phrase my apology. I decided to take it here and ask people how big of a jerk I am.
Not the ass. Not the jerk. Sorry.
So the question is she a jerk for suggesting to her friend that she should shave?
No. What do you think? Based on your experience.
My experience. Look, I don't think. Okay, the question is she a jerk for suggesting to her friend that she should shave? No, I don't think she's a jerk.
Okay.
On the question, okay? On the question, I don't think she's a jerk for suggesting she should shave. Because at this point, she has, like, that's why I emphasize the point where it says that she has told her multiple times. So she has already expressed and ranted to her friend, hey, my dating life is not going that well. Like, I hate it. It's sucky. I don't get callbacks. I don't get second dates. It's only been first dates. And she gets let down in a very generic way. So she's already told her friend multiple times, hey, don't worry. The right guy will come for you. He'll be there. He's out there. The right guy will be for you and will accept you just as you are. I understand. I'll point that out. I understand that the friend wasn't asking for her advice. She's just ranting. And we've had this conversation. You've told me before, you ranting or do you want my advice? And most of the time I'm like, regardless if I'm ranting or not, I want your advice.
That's why.
And it's like, she didn't ask for her advice, but girl, you've told her multiple times.
But you also go to your, I feel like sometimes you go to your friends, especially when it's over and over and again. Like, I will want my friend without me asking my friend advice. I don't have to always tell you, hey Emily, this time I want your advice. Like,
exactly,
it's a given. Especially if I love you, I can point out things to be like, hey Emily, well, have you thought about this and this and this could be a cause.
And I know that if it's coming from like you instead of a random person, I know that you have my best interest in heart, and this is like her friend, right? So obviously she has told her generic, the right guy will come along, will love you for who you are, no matter what you look, or no matter if you shave or not, right?
But and that's another thing. Like, she's not shaving because she doesn't want to shave, because that's a personal decision. She's shaving because in protest of patriarchy. Like, to me, which is like, so you're still letting them control you though, if that's what you're protesting, like not being controlled and not being suppressed. You're still being suppressed because you're doing something that you probably don't want to do, but in protest you're still going to do it.
Which really sucks, because
to me, I shave and I wax, and guess what? I am not suppressed over here. I'm living my best life.
And this is the point where I was just like, I may be a little, different from your opinion, where it's like, I do agree with her with the girl that doesn't shave, where it's like, the right man will love me whether I shave or not. I don't consider shaving a value. A guy will like you whether you have hairy arms or not. Eventually he's gonna have something to say about it, but he's gonna love you regardless.
No. Hairy arms is one thing.
Well, hairy arms, hairy legs, hairy everything. That's what she said. Yeah, she said everything. Like, literally, this girl quit shaving everything. Her face says it all.
I'm sorry, but even if a man, like, this is not just for women. I think, like, it's a hygiene thing.
Yeah.
I don't want no stinky armpit, like, full of hair, like a bush coming out, and like them wanting to like hug me. Ew, hell no. Get your onion smelling armpit over there. Like, a mí no me estás tocando. Hell no. I love you for who you are, but not them stinky armpits. No way.
Look, I support this girl if she feels like this is her protest to the patriarchy.
Sí,
espérate. Power to you, girl, if that's what you want to do, okay? But let's be realistic. You are in a society, okay? And you don't have to like it. I don't like it either. Not for that reason, but for other reasons. But you are in a society that deems beauty in a specific way. And you know this because you are protesting it. So let's be real. The majority of people will like a woman who shaves or waxes or tweezes, whatever, who does makeup, who dresses appropriately for different situations, who, some guys like really girls that are really girly. Other guys are like, I don't care as long as you look good. Either way. But the majority of men of this patriarchy that you are protesting likes their girls shaved. So don't be upset when you don't find guys that don't like that.
I want to do a question and a poll. All the guys that watch this podcast, I know that you guys maybe don't comment normally on our podcast. This is your time to shine.
Leave it in the comments.
Do you want, if you're single, if you're married, get the hell out of here. I'm just kidding. If you're married, let me know what you want your wife. Do you like a girl that shaves and waxes or whatever? Or do you just really not care? If they're hairy, you like them like that too.
You can just leave in the comments. Leave hairy, like shaved or hairy. You don't even have to put a reason why. We just want to see how many people. We just want to see. Exactly. We just want to see how many people.
Social experiment.
Yeah. Just put in the comments either shaved or hairy.
Yeah.
And then depending on that,
and then if you're a woman, whether you're Christian or you're not or whatever, let us know them in the comments. Do you take off the hairs in your body
take out the body
because you like it like that, or because you feel suppressed that you have to do that? Let us know.
Simple as that.
Do you take the hairs out of your body because you feel like you have to, or
No.
because you want to?
No, because I want to. Sure, screw that.
Yeah. Oh,
That's why I paid. Right now I need to go back, but that's why I used to pay to someone just to rip it off. Like no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Same.
Yeah. It's okay though, girl.
Do you want to
It's
talk
okay.
about our story, our experience, or you just now is the time? Now is the time to express yourself too. Defenderte.
Y'all know we real in this podcast. So
And in this friendship outside of this camera.
it's fine. We've gone through it all. We
Yeah.
can talk about it. We ain't no punks here. All right, so this was coming out. This was like springtime. We were coming out of the winter, going into summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to the pool, were we not?
I think so.
Yes, we were. It wasn't.
Yes,
it
we
wasn't
were.
super cold. Okay.
No, it
But we
wasn't
were
cold at
coming out
all
of
because we
cold.
were going to the pool.
Yeah, but we were coming out of the cold. Okay, and I'm saying this because it wasn't like a big thing. But
No,
to
you're
me
right,
it
yeah.
was. But to me it was because, look, when you're dating, you have your seasons, and I hadn't been on dates in whiles. I don't have a reason to get out of my sweats. I'll just say that right now. I don't care. Okay, now I was like, I haven't been out. I haven't suntan. I really want to, but I also haven't shaved. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna go to Melissa's and I'll shave over there. Knocked out. Knocked out. And I was like, I'm tired. I haven't slept in days, but I really want to go to the pool, and I'm gonna go with her. So I don't really care. I'm gonna be with a friend. It's not like I'm gonna be showing off to no guys. Okay. So to be fair, before I went to sleep, I took a shower and I shaved my armpits, and I looked at my legs. I said, I'm way too tired.
You
I
did
don't
not.
care.
Then this was a different time.
Yes, no, it was the same time.
Because what I'm talking about is I specifically told you about your armpits.
Oh, I thought it was my legs.
No,
Shoot.
and you were not in the intention of coming. You had an appointment, like I think scheduled already, pero no había como llegado. Like todavía te faltaba creo que como 2 semanas for your appointment.
Entonces, this was a while ago because I thought this was this year.
No. I think maybe if anything,
I haven't seen her in a while.
But if it was the same thing, you had stopped dating. Because you have your seasons of dating, like
Yes.
you have so it was a season where you had stopped dating, and it was the same thing. Like apenas había sido winter, donde I hadn't seen your armpits, and we were coming into summer, where you were literally wearing a tank top, but you had like a little shirt like this on top.
Okay.
And I don't remember. Maybe I think we were going to the pool, or maybe we were in a dressing room somewhere. Okay, then I'm gonna say the story. So we were like, we were in a dressing room, or we were going to the pool, or whatever, and you lifted up your arms, y así era como que like se te había caído esta cosa. So I saw your armpit hair like this.
Tampoco así.
Yes. I saw your armpit hair, and I was like, Emily, have you not shaved? And you were like, I have an appointment in 2 weeks.
I don't remember this.
Yes, you were like, I have an appointment in 2 weeks, and I haven't been dating, so I don't really care. And I was like, Emily, it's not about you dating anyone. It's not for anyone else. It's for you, girl.
I really don't remember
and that's
this.
what I told you. I was like, how about you don't wax your armpits anymore? Because when you wax, you have to wait 4-6 weeks before you be like for the hairs to be long enough to then go wax. I'm like, how about for the summer? That's the only place where you stop waxing.
Yeah,
And you start shaving.
This.
That way it can be clean all the time. And you were like, okay, maybe. But yes, like I'll tell you, I saw it. No es como que you did one of these. Use like just enough for me to see the hair.
See, I don't remember this at all.
So what you gotta say about that?
Shoot, regardless, you know what? Again, we were coming out. And it's not like this is like an all the time occurrence, okay? Like most of the time, yeah. Like I take care of myself. I have different people that do different things, different services, and that was one of those things. Like she said, I had an appointment, and I was just like, it's just not my time yet, and we're barely coming out of the winter. We were going to summer, so I was like, I'm just not gonna worry about it because I have her girl. ¿Para qué le estoy pagando if I'm not gonna get it done? Like, but again, there are certain things that you should do, not only because you're dating or for somebody else, it's for yourself, you know.
And I think after that, because I think in ese, you were a little bit, since you were not dating, you have fallen into like you weren't dressing up anymore.
I will say this in my defense, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
But I will have my moments. Especially during winter, I think it's called seasonal depression. I'm not depressed. But FYI, I'm not depressed. But during those times, especially when you're single, you do get a lot into your emotions and your feelings, and then your mentality goes a little bit down. You don't see the sun as much anymore. So during that time, I think I had stopped dating for a long time, and I had just come out of like a relationship where I thought was serious and it wasn't. But it was a long relationship. But it was a year-long relationship, and we had already broken up, and it was like a lot of time had passed, but I had stopped dating just because I was like, when I do date, I'm gonna make sure I'm available. So I was giving myself the appropriate time. So when that happened, I do remember I was just like, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't have a reason to care. Not even for myself. Like I'm not there, and I couldn't be bothered because my emotional vulnerability wasn't there. I was just like not there mentally or emotionally. I just didn't want to do it.
Exactly. And I mean, and as a friend, I had the confianza enough to say, hey, Emily, you should shave.
But that's the thing. You had that confidence with me, friendship-wise. Because if you didn't, I would have been like, thank you. And then I would have been like, we can't go to the put together anymore. But because you're my friend, and I know you, and I know what you were trying to tell me.
But I think even like if I'm at the street or the grocery store, and my hairs is coming out of my armpit, and somebody says like, hey,
I'm like, you're a stranger to me. You don't know me.
I don't know.
I
would be like, all right, especially if it's another girl, I'll be like, oh, you know what? If you notice that, probably like, all right, thanks, girl.
Don't get me wrong. In the moment, I'm gonna be like, yeah, like you're like, I don't care because you're a stranger to me. But as I'm walking to the car, I'm like, damn, that's how embarrassing.
So then why be rude to the person then?
No, I'm not saying like that's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to tell you you're hella rude. No, I'm not doing that. But I'll be like, oh, okay, thank you. And that's it. But in my head, I'll
be like, for real, girl, you can see it? I'm like, damn, thanks, girl. Let me tuck them in real quick. Like something. But
yeah, that time for me was a hard time emotionally. Let's just say that. So
yeah.
And that happens. You can let go of yourself, but it's okay. You just got to come back. Don't stay there. That's different.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move on to our favorite song of the week. You have it ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. What's the name of it? Who sings it?
Okay. This one, I've been like doing a lot of studying lately. So all I've been listening to is like lo-fi. And then you sent me this album, which I didn't even know. It's like Christian lo-fi. And then you knew how much
a Christian producer.
Yeah, you know how much I loved lo-fi, and then I didn't even know there was like a Christian lo-fi. So I got tired of lo-fi girl, which if y'all study and y'all are in school, y'all know that's like a big thing. It's like a 24/7 like live stream of just lo-fi music on YouTube. So I got tired of listening to that, and then you recommended that to me, and then lately that's what I've been listening to. So this one is by Onel Diaz. If y'all know, that's my homie. I love him. This song is called Ama a tu prójimo, and it's instrumental. It's lo-fi. There's no words.
I love the raindrops.
Wait. And that's it. That's all it is. But it brings me like so much peace, so much relaxation.
When I'm at work and I have a stressful day, I put that too.
Yeah, it's definitely a vibe where I can be like, all right, I can relax and I can like focus and study.
Okay.
Yeah.
My one is Como Tu a mí by Josh Games. Josh.
Oh.
Love that song. It's just saying like, I want to love you how you love me. There's a Bible in the verse that says that we love because he loves us first. And so I want to love him the way that he loves me, in the same way that he laid down his life to give us a new life and die for our sins. In the same way, I want to leave things from my past in the past, and I want to lay my life down and just give it all to Christ and live for him how he wants me to live. But yeah, anything else that you want to leave the people with for today's marriage, I do or I don't episode?
Just remember, in a relationship, specifically a marriage, there's two people. There's a husband and a wife, but not just two people. There's another entity, and there's God. And without God, that relationship cannot last. I'm sorry, like, it is what it is. Again, there are relationships out there that are not Christian that do last. But a holy relationship, a relationship that will stand through time, and that you both have eternal life, it needs God. It needs God. Always remember, it's not a requirement for a matrimony, but it does help when you are not just your husband's wife. You are your husband's confidant. You are your husband's best friend. You are your husband's, support. You are his support system. Because when you are tied down to just being, this is my, I don't know, like their sex slave. This is my cook. This is my cleaner. Like, that's all you are to that person. And you lose that value to that other person, then it's really hard to come back and build that relationship, because you're stuck in that one identity that you have built for yourself to be that other person's so-and-so. So always remember that you're more than just somebody's wife. You're more than just somebody's husband. You are a child of God. And from there comes different responsibilities that come with a marriage that you have to nurture and take care of in order to blossom into a beautiful and flourishing relationship, marriage.
Yeah, I think that my advice would be, it's both of you guys. Like, both of you have to put in work. Marriage is work. It's hard. As women, as men, you fight through different temptations. Just because the women no lo dicen tanto, or porque whatever the case may be, like, it's not norm in la society, is not normal. Like, no, we all go through different temptations and things like that. And so both of you need to put in effort and work into it to be loyal to one another, and be loving to one another, and be willing to push through life with one another. So like, both of you have to put in. You can't, it can't be like you get to chill and just expect a lot from the other person, vice versa. Like, on both ends, like, both of you have to be working together. And then remember to be friends. Remember to have fun. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 60, you have kids, you have babies, whatever. Like, no, you're people. Like, tú eres tu persona before you were a wife, before you were a mother, before you were a father. So tap into that from time to time and have fun. Be a kid, be mature, whatever. But like, have fun with each other. Like, at the end of the day, tus hijos se van a crecer y tú te vas a quedar with your partner. Yeah. And if you're not friends, y'all not gonna like each other. Y'all probably not gonna want to live. So de qué sirvió todo el sacrificio? So be friends, stay friends, love each other on both ends. Know each other's love language. Be intentional with your love and keep it pushing. We got this, married people and not married people.
For the future.
Yeah. And that is it for today's podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.